Hey, good evening. It is Tuesday tea time with Dorarena, and I want to welcome all our first time viewers and those that will be watching the replay. Welcome. We are presented from Women of Wisdom. We are a nonprofit organization here to bridge the generational gap between the younger preteen girls and the older seasoned ladies so that we can pass on vital knowledge to one another in the next generation. We empower with practical wisdom and confidence. I was thinking before we got on here that I was just kind of going to let um, I'm kind of like, the turtle, I just, I'm sharing a little bit about myself, and I am more focused on the mission and the vision of Women of Wisdom. And I feel more, I don't know, comfortable with that or more complete with doing that, then I'm not the person that, just like chase the money. And I want to say to all those that are uh, following their dreams in life, stick with your goal, stick with your mission and your vision. Don't get caught up in running after the money and lose the vision. I would rather move slow and steady than quick and hard and fall hard. All right. So, that's wisdom within itself. So, I'm not the rabbit, I'm the hare. All right. Some people want to push you into being somebody that you're not. Stick with who you are and you will not lose your peace. All right. Okay. So this is Tuesday tea time, and I like to share with you my tea that I'm having tonight. And one of the mentees that I mentor, she was telling me that she likes to put, the peppermint stick in her tea. And I thought, okay, well, especially with this being a festive time of the year, with Christmas coming up and everything. And so I said, well, you know what? I'm going to put my peppermint in my tea. And so tonight I am doing chamomile. Uh, Lavender chamomile. Yes, I'm going to try with the peppermint stick. And I don't know about you, but with my Christmas tree, I don't know if you put up one or not, but I do. And I like putting candy canes on my Christmas tree. And so one tradition that we used to do when I was growing up, we would have like the stockings, and my stepmom would always put one of those big giant peppermints in the stocking, and you just can't seem to find them anymore. But I enjoyed it. And I would eat my peppermint with a lemon. Yes, that was me. So here we go with Tuesday tea time. I hope that you have your cup with you and that you fill your cup up with lots of wisdom tonight. All right? Tea time. Ooh, that's hot and it's good. Ooh, I like that little peppermint flavor to the tea. Oh, yeah, I done found something. Okay, let's go right into our topic tonight because, we kind of been talking about confidence and things that are just like self-defeating our confidence. And so last week we mentioned one in the list, and I thought, oh my goodness, that is so powerful. We got to talk about this. So our wisdom topic is self-defeating assumptions. Do you know that self-defeating assumptions will squash your confidence. Oh my goodness. You have been defeated before you even get started because all your thoughts about yourself are self-defeating. Okay, so let's look at our first slide. We want to choke out, we want to get rid of all of these termites, that are eating up and trying to defeat our confidence. All right. Because if you're ever going to develop into something or follow your dream or live up to your highest potential, you're going to have to get rid of some stuff. And where you are right now is you have to grow in order to come into a better fulfillment of life, because it's just not going to happen just because we want it to happen. We have to make the necessary steps so that, and the changes, so that we can have the progress in our lives. All right. Okay. So here's our first slide. Okay. So when defeat settles, we can easily let our emotions dominate us, which can spiral into overwhelming feelings of rejection. And so we start rejecting who we are. We reject the good in ourselves, and we start criticizing ourselves, and we start sabotaging, who we can be, because we reject the positive things about us, and we won't allow those things to take root like they should, so that they can be watered and grow, instead of us tearing that down and defeating our own selves. And self, let's go to the next slide. Self-defeating assumptions is a belief that can obstruct our journey to personal growth, success, and overall well-being. By challenging these negative thoughts, we can unlock our full potential. And so, these are things that we have to challenge. We have to be willing to look at the what's defeating us within ourselves. What are we saying to ourselves? What is our daily thoughts? Are you catching those negative thoughts, or are you feeding them? And are you allowing other people to feed into your life negative things? And so we have to guard our minds and our hearts, so that we don't allow not only other people to say negative things, or that will cause our self destruction to increase. We got to watch what we're saying our own selves. And sometimes these things comes from past experiences, or could be from teachers, could be from parents, or somebody that you esteemed in life and says something to you that made your self-esteem decrease. And so when you're hearing all of these negative things all the time, then you start assuming that you don't have potential. You assume that whatever you do is not going to amount to anything. You know what? I did that. I used to always tell myself, give it to me, I'll mess it up. That was my philosophy. And I had to realize that this is a heart attitude. This is not necessarily something that life struggle, or someone, some issue outside of my heart. This is a heart issue that I had to deal with, and I had to decide I do not want to live like this. And that's what you have to do. And you know what? Wisdom will lead you to live a better life, because when you do, it not only does good for your mental health, it does good for your physical health. You will find the peace of mind that you should have, because wisdom will always lead you in the right direction. It will always lead you to a prosperous life, peace of mind, things of that nature. So you want to walk in wisdom. And part of that is, don't assume that you cannot accomplish something that you never even tried. Okay, you're defeating yourself before you even get started. Okay, these are some self-defeating things. Okay, you prophesy failure over yourself, or believing you should always be right. That is a lack of wisdom. Jumping to conclusions. You know, we jump to conclusions and we decide things before we even know, we even hear the full matter. We already in our mind have decided this is the way it is. No, we need to stop, listen, evaluate, and see what is right and what's not right, and get rid of the things that don't benefit us. All right. Okay. Negative internal dialogues. We have to stay aware of what we're thinking and what we're saying and what we're allowing other people to say over our lives. You know, just, you know, people say stuff and you can't just let that bypass. You got to correct that and say, no, that is not me. I'm not doing that. Or even, you know, okay, hey, that used to be me, but I'm not like that anymore. So now you're changing things, and that's the way it should be. All right, let's take a tea break. That's because I'm liking this tea with this peppermint in it. Okay, our minds can be our greatest adversary, and unchecked thoughts can cause far more harm than any enemy. You know, is what we think about ourselves, is what we saying about ourselves. Nobody else can hear it. We can hear it, you know, but it does play out on the outside of our behavior. You know, I mean, it is what it is. And so if you're going to amount to something, stop saying the negative things. Change your routine, change your attitude about yourself. Okay, you made mistakes. We all make mistakes. Learn from them and go on. Don't just keep beating yourself down. You know what? Sometimes all it takes is just educating yourself about some things. Do some research, grow in your knowledge. And you know, that's the reason why a lot of people don't accomplish things in life, because we refuse to get the knowledge that we need to grow. You're not going to grow without knowledge. So, knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is powerful. Remember, I always say that. Okay, listen to this next slide. Self-defeating assumptions are a condition and attitude of the heart. So now we have to deal with ourselves. And you know what? That's where it starts. And really, that's where our quote come in of the day. Okay. The biggest thing holding you back is almost always you. Start there. That's Hunter Post. Okay. So, you know what? It's not a matter of starting with everybody else and correcting everybody else and blaming them and, you know, thinking that they're your problem. No, we're our own problem. And we need to face facts and face truths and be real with ourselves, because that's where it starts. If we're talking about self defeating assumptions, That's it. That the word is in itself, right? Self. We got to deal with ourselves. We're defeating our own selves by assuming that we can't do this, or we assuming we should always have to be right, or we're assuming that, unless we're perfect, nobody's gonna like us, or we got to be a certain way, and if we're not this way, we're not going to be able to make. Quit assuming things that are not real. Be real with yourself, and because you know what, you have been given something to benefit your life and somebody else's life. There is something in you that you have the potential to accomplish, and it starts with the condition and the attitude of your own heart. How do you feel about you? And if you're not happy with you, that's the problem. And so you got to learn to be happy with who you are, okay? And you can change that just by starting out changing what you're saying about yourself inside yourself, that internal dialogue, okay? Okay, if we speak to ourselves as we would to a close friend struggling with self-defeating thoughts, we empower ourselves to break free from negative patterns and embrace positive change. Okay, so you want to break that pattern. And how to break that pattern? Start counseling yourself the way you would counsel your friend. And that's a place where you can start to be kind and start loving yourself and forgive yourself, because we all have something that we did that we don't like, that we did, and it's all about how you handle it. I'm talking to somebody right now. You can rise above whatever that situation or that circumstance that you been in, even if it's been a parent that has been constantly speaking negative things to you. You can still break that. You have the power and the control to break that by changing your affirmations that you speak over yourself. So make the effort and do it for your own good, and you will be blessed. All right. You have a great night tonight. And you remember that Dorarena loves you always, and do this every day. Walk in wisdom, my friend. All right. Have a great night, and I'll see you next week.